Welcome to the fourth episode. And I just want to say a massive, massive thank you. This it's been a crazy journey. So you spend 3 months, you spend somewhere in the region of 100 to 150 hours planning for everything, thinking down to how do we structure the club, how do we do absolutely everything, writing a business plan, and then you have a public meeting. And it's pretty terrifying moment for sort of the direction of the club, because really confident with the work myself and the team we've all done, but you just don't know. So it's what are people other people going to think about it. um so we'd ask people to email in advance, and it's something, if you ever go through this, I'd recommend doing. So we had about 70 people reach out and say, hey, I'm coming, which made us think, it was like, hey, if we can get 50 on the night, this is going to be good. It's January. Luckily, there was no snow or anything. That was the other sort of fear when we planned it in advance. Like, you just don't know what the weather's going to be. But people just kept turning up, kept turning up. I got to 81 when I was stood there at the meeting just counting, while someone else was speaking at that time. I think a few more probably snuck in, but just incredible. A really, really, really good response from the community. And that kind of just validates everything we're chasing. Speaking to the Football Support Association, they said it was a really, really strong turnout. They effectively come along and they just need to look and go, was there sort of a substantial enough group here that they can sustain a club, not just year one, but beyond that? And the answer was a resounding yes. Um, but it just takes one, two individuals in the audience to be really downer on it or be negative, and there wasn't that. There was some really good questions, fair challenges, that we had all the answers to, which was important for us doing that due diligence beforehand. But it's just exciting now, and the real fun kicks off. So, public meeting. What's the next steps? So the Football Support Association, Richard Irving, who was great, came from there, and also just explained all the legals and what happens, and how it's a full company, registered company's house, which set a lot of people's minds at rest. They were like, "Oh, is this legit? Is this that?" Um, Paperwork goes off to the Financial Conduct Authority. There is lots and lots of boxes that get ticked, which is good because it's not people just buying into someone's bank account and then who knows where it goes, and it's this and it's that. We're doing things differently, super transparent. So every month you'll get financial updates, potentially some more on that. It might even come even more regular, but lots and lots of information we're going to pass. We want to be super transparent, and that might even appear in your owner weekly emails, financial and membership update. So keep an eye out next week for that, or next week. Hey, by the time you listen to this, it will be that same week. Um, so the Football Support Association got the paperwork. They're happy with that. They send that off, and that goes through a process. So about 3 to 4 weeks is what we're looking at. And then all the legals are done. Community Benefit Society, we can get them last, few bits in place. And that is just really, really exciting. We're finally there. So all of that work behind the scenes was certainly worth it. We're all buzzing as a team on the committee, and that's exciting. So memberships are now live. So we're running it through an app called Fanbase. Um, it just allows everything to be super transparent. People know when they've bought it. It's not kind of people just handing money over, signing a piece of paper, and then knowing who knows what happens with that. We want to make sure that you have confidence in what we're doing, and we can show, here's everyone that's bought in, here's our ownership list, and that just it's a better way of operating. I mean, it also allows people around the world to become owners, which is great fun, because it's one that anyone around, and I know there's people listening to this all over the world, which is just incredibly cool. Taking care in our local passion and sharing that with us. So yeah, don't hesitate. You can click that button. You can become an owner too. Once the paperwork's done with the FSA, that's when the monthly ones will become live. Um, so in about another 4 weeks, I would expect that to happen. But at the moment, it's really key. So we actually make more money on the £50 a year ones than the £60 someone pays on the monthly, just because of card transaction fees, stuff like that. And also, it just helps us up front because we've got bills that we're going to pay for where we play, the kit, stuff like that. Obviously, the more money we have in initially and not spread across the year helps us, but we understand the cost of a pint, £5 a month, not too bad. £50 in one go can be fair whack. And that's why we wanted to make it accessible for all, and open that up. We've also launched a youth membership. So because it is a legal entity, you can't legally vote if you're under the age of 16. So you can become an owner, but you can't legally vote. And so to reflect that, what we've done is launched a youth membership at £15 a year. Has to be done annually. There's not a monthly option on those. But we had young people come up and say, hey, I want to buy in. And we thought, hey, it's not fair to ask someone that isn't entitled to a vote for the same stake as anyone else. So they become an owner, they can come to the monthly meetings, but they can't vote on them, which is unfortunate, but it's the law, and that's positive in a way because there is legal framework protecting this organisation. It's not one where it's written on the back of a napkin and who knows what can happen. There is full legal processes for stuff, so that gives you peace of mind that you're buying into something legit, structured, and well operated. So with the FSA, they said on, like, someone asked a question, said, Richard, how many people do you think this is going to take to make it sustainable? And he said, sort of across year one, try 100 people. That probably makes it a club that you can continue long term. We're so much more ambitious than that. I've set the goal that we need to get to 100 members before we play our first game. And based on sort of that first few days, I think we're going to get there well before that. So it's one that if you're thinking, oh, I need to do it, please just jump online, click the link. I'll put it in the description. Just press that and get registered because that really, really helps us out with setting budgets, everything for this year. It's one that we need you to help out and get us over that line. So no, I reckon 100 by the first game. And I've set the goal of 250 by the last game of the season. So that's ambitious, but that's the way I want this club to be. I want to be on the front end of the best run teams in sort of non-league football. And there's no reason why we start slightly lower level. We shouldn't be operating to the professionalism of teams much, much higher than us. So yeah, loads of people have got on board, and just join that. And we can really make a change here. We can become the blueprint for people setting up teams and going, we need to operate like East Thurrock. In the same way people like have looked at Lewis and AFC Wimbledon before. We can be that shining example. And as well, make sure you register. We're only a couple of weeks away from becoming February, which is crazy to say. But in February, we'll have our first owners meeting. And that's where we will decide on where we play next season, what the club's badge is. And you can only vote on that if you become an owner. So really important that you do your ownership as soon as possible. And we'll have some more information coming out soon. We meet tonight, if you're listening to this on Monday, to decide on that voting process and how that will work. But it's not just tied to people there on the night. So there will be an option for if you're overseas, you can't make the meeting. Effectively, more the meetings will become the discussion of what the topic and the vote's going to be on, which for the badges, it's easy. It's just showing people the badges. But like looking at, say, where we play, we'll do the full due diligence. Then we'll present that, the pros and cons of each option and why we're making that decision. And then we'll allow people to vote so they can sleep on it. They can think about it. It's not one where we're going to get around there, an hour, boom, the decision's made, that's it. If you didn't turn up, unlucky. We will send that information to you if you're an owner, regardless of where you are in the world, and then you can be involved in voting on that decision. So I'll have a little bit more information next week because it needs to go to committee vote exactly, sort of time frame, how many days, etc. you get to vote, but it will be accessible for all. So that's membership, and that's kind of the sort of the key stuff there. But no, it's one volunteer. I'll have a lot more on volunteering actually next week. I'll probably do a big video on it and it's sort of explaining all the roles. But we've had lots of people reach out. So, sort of our digital team, we want to take this sort of stuff to the next level: social media, videos, graphics, stuff like that. 4, 5, 6 people have reached out. And if you're also interested in that, don't hesitate in reaching out. More and more people just makes lighter work. We've got stuff like programs to design. I want to improve everything on our socials, everything on our websites getting rebuilt, all of that stuff. We're volunteer driven. No one's taking money out of this on sort of that volunteer committee side. It's costing me a lot of money. I've become a lifetime owner straight up. Didn't hesitate. I am really, really excited by this. And then it's just time. And the more people we get involved, the more time goes into this, the better the results, and we'll go up leagues. So I passionately believe in this. I went to watch an Olympian Premier League game, Olympian Premier division game on Saturday, and I looked at that and I thought the new East Thurrock is going to fly in this league. It's going to be really fun. I think we've got some great people on board who I'll be chatting about. If you haven't seen sort of the rumours, Director of Football has joined, and I will chat about that. Probably that might be next week's video. I might sit down with us, Mr. Covo, and have a chat about joining East Thurrock Community Football Club because, hey, the sky is the limit with this project, and I just want to thank you for being involved. Please join. And by all means, if there's any questions, probably best to shoot me an email rather than in the comments. But I answer the email inbox. I'll get back to you. And if it's one that you want to jump on the phone, have a phone call, happy to do that as well. If it's a certain topic, a question or something, we can certainly. But yeah, I'm stoked for this. Massive, massive thank you for everyone that's turned up, everyone that's reached out on social media. Yeah, from a week ago, we were thinking that hopefully it'll go well, and now we're thinking, hey, where's this going to stop? Let's really go up the leagues. We want to build something special, really, really professional, and yeah, we need you to be a part of that to achieve it. So up the rocks. Have a great week, and yeah, we can do this together.